Hello, everybody, and welcome. How are you all doing today? I hope you are doing well. Too far, too fast. We are here. I'm actually in the Direwolf 20 pack. This is the new series that I talked about in the last episode. This series is going to be called Modded Beginnings. Of course, you all are already going to know this before you get here because it'll be in the title. But the basis of this series is set for basically modded beginners. Hence the name Modded Beginnings. It's going to be a tutorial series that I'm going to do. It's not going to be something that I do every day. Might get one once a week. It takes a little bit of time to set some of this stuff up. But basically the purpose of this is not to give a, here we go with this. At least I can do this. The basis of this is to introduce new people to some of the mods. Give them the basics of how to get from point A to point B, but not get them necessarily to point C. The goal of this is to familiarize them with the mod, to get you all started with the mod, and then more or less turn you loose and let you do what you want to do with it. Show you a lot of different stuff that the mods have, kind of how to use them, how to make some of the stuff, and go with that. That's the purpose of this right now. It may change. I don't know. But it's my way of trying to help new players that are playing modded Minecraft to at least get started into some of the mods. So that is what it is. And because the first thing that was asked about doing was tinkers, that's what we're going to start off with. Like I said, I have no idea how often this is going to be done. This setup doesn't look like much. It took about 3 hours to get set up and to make sure that I have everything listed that I want to go over. It's, like I said, not going to be everything. There's going to be some stuff that I missed. This is the first kind of tutorial like this that I've ever done. So I guess the next thing to do is to just get started. So this one, like I said, on Tinker's Construct. And also, all these mods will be 1.12. And most of them will be set up to where it's not specific to one pack. Anything that a specific pack, like this one, with Tinkers, it adds like extra utility stuff and stuff like that. We're not going to get into that stuff. It's basically going to be what Tinkers adds to it. That way, if if something else is not with it, anyways, yeah, if it's not with it, we don't have to worry about it. So, but with Tinkers, it adds several ores to the game. It adds copper, aluminum, lead, and silver, I believe. It also adds slime islands, and it just so happens that I have no slime islands here close to me where I'm at. But slime islands spawn up in the sky, if you didn't know that. The slime will fall down to the ground, but anyways, they are there. Purpose of slime islands is, of course, the slimes, but you can also make two nifty little things. One is a pair of slime boots, slime balls, and slime blocks. Slime blocks, you can either break the trees on the island, or you can make them with 4 slime balls. Slime boots prevent you from taking any kind of fall damage. It is nighttime. And then there's also the slime sling. Actually, we could probably set this to toggle game mode. We can do that now. Slime sling you can use to travel around a little bit faster. It's a nice and handy, neat little tool to use. So, to get started with tinkers, there's several things that you are going to need. The first thing you need are patterns. Patterns are made with oak plank, or well, not oak, with planks and sticks. They will give you patterns. You're also going to need a crafting station, which is just a crafting table turned into your crafting grid, turned into a crafting station. You will need a stencil table. The stencil table is what we use to put the stencils or put the patterns in order to make our tool parts. It is a plank and a pattern. You're also going to need a part builder. Part builder is a log and a pattern. This part builder uses the blank patterns, which I put the blank patterns in the wrong one. You can make your pattern over here, put it in here, and I've got cobblestone back here. We'll get into that in just a second. And you can make tool pieces. Beautiful. And then you've got your tool station, which works kind of like an anvil. This is where you go to add modifiers to your tool, or where you can repair your tool, and it's also where you build your tool. And if you click on each one of them, it'll tell you what parts that you need in order to make it. Now, these parts back here, these are the parts that you can make inside of this part builder. There might be a few others, but I think for the most part this was all of them. And outside of this, everything else has to be made into a smeltery. Smeltery uses the gold cast, or actually not just gold cast, you can actually make aluminum brass cast. Basically smelt down your smelt down your gold in the smeltery, and then cast it out in the table. We've got. You can place a stone piece. Stone pieces, I believe, are the only things that will work with this. I don't have any gold. Let's change our game mode here. And let us get some gold. This is not necessarily the best setup for showing this, but anyways, 2 pieces of gold, 2 pieces of aluminum brass will give you enough to make a cast, which is this thing right here. You'll need a cast for each part. Now you can actually make these cast out of clay also, but when you go to cast out your part, you will that's the only use you get out of it. After that, it is destroyed. So any tools you make out of metal, we've got the one done here. Let's go ahead and get that. Any tools that have any kind of metals in it, and then also obsidian, has to be cast out inside of the smeltery. So we've got these. It's basically what we're doing here. Get these, place the stone piece down, pour it. It will cool off. It will give you, boom, you've got your cast. So there's that. Now, this tool station only has your basic tools. You've got your pickaxe, your shovel, your hatchet, your mattox, which is a shovel, a hoe, and a hatchet all together. And then you've got your broadsword, your longsword, your rapier, your frying pan, a sign, a bow, and some arrows. We'll get into some of this stuff in a little bit later. So, now, this is the tool forge. This is the upgraded version of the tool station. This has all the items in it before, but it also adds the hammer, a spade, what is that called? Lumber axe. It adds a scythe, it adds a cleaver, it adds your crossbow, and it also adds your shuriken, however you want to pronounce it. Functionality, exact same as this one. Once you can actually use this table, you can break it to make this one, and this is the recipe for it. Seared bricks, your tool station, and some blocks of, it doesn't necessarily have to be iron, but it's anything that can be used as a beacon base. Let's see here. Let's find this. I think I just passed it up. Yep. This one only shows iron. Oh, it can be made from any metal block. Maybe they've changed that. So it can be gold, it can be diamond, it can be emeralds, it could be silver, copper, lead, whatever. The choice is up to you. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to set time today. The only thing it changes is how the table looks. Whoops. I broke it. I'm not used to playing in creative mode. So, these are what you need to get started. Once you get some mining and stuff done, you can upgrade to this. These are your pattern chests. They are made from just a chest and a blank pattern. I have never figured out why the chest does not have any kind of design on it. You get that. But that will give you the pattern chest. Now with the pattern chest, you cannot mix these patterns with these cast. So you need, if you want to keep them in these, you'll need one for the woods, one for the patterns, and one for the cast. So that should get you started with that. As far as these items, like I said, are what you can use in order to make tools inside of the part builder. To make the slime crystals, you have to make a thing called slimy mud. It is a slime block, sand, and dirt. It can be any color slime block. It doesn't have to be just the green one. Any of them will work. But if you use blue, it gives you a blue one. If you use the purple, it will give you a purple one. The only one that changes, I believe, is the magma. And the only thing it changes is the fact that it adds fire damage to it that the other ones do not. So, all that. Now, to the smelteries. Smelteries are awesome. Smelteries are a great early way of setting up and doubling your ores. For every piece of ore you put in here, you will get 2 out. This is the smallest setup that you can have. One on the bottom, one on the side. In order to make it work, you need a controller, you need a tank, and you need a drain. That will give you everything you need. Now, I want to take that out before it's done. One thing I forgot. Inside of here, we have this firewood. This firewood is a new or added item from Tinkers. It is made from lava wood. Lava wood is made with lava and any kind of plank in here. Just pour the lava into the drain. We don't have a cast. Anyways, we had to let's get us a faucet out here. Pour the lava on the wood, and boom. We've got a piece of lava wood. I don't know if... Really? How did I do that? Give me it back. There we go. I don't know if this will damage you if you stand on it. No. But it is a pretty neat little texture. So, but those with 2 pieces of blaze powder will give you the firewood. The firewood you can actually use, let's go back here, tool materials, firewood, as a auto smelt a modifier for your tools. So if we want to build our pickaxe to where it's we'll mine, or not mine, but smelt everything as we mine. I don't know why I did that. We can make it out of the firewood. It's kind of nice. The only thing is it doesn't get your double ores. Now, as far as building the smeltery, up here, you need grep. there's 2 recipes for grout. You can use sand, gravel, and a clay ball will give you 2. Or you can use sand, gravel, and a clay block and it will give you 8. You're going to need a lot of these. In order to get 1 seared brick, you need 1 piece of grout. So this is going, if you do this, this is going to turn into 8 pieces. We'll throw it in here. It's going to turn into 8 pieces of the seared brick. Now, you're going to need a lot of seared brick. These are your base components for making your smeltery. You need, I love the fact that you can do that. You're going to need the seared tank. Seared tank is seared bricks surrounding a piece of glass. You're going to need seared bricks. Seared bricks are just 4 bricks to make the big brick. It's turning nighttime again. You're going to need the smeltery drain. It is just seared bricks on each side. You can add as many of these as you want to the smeltery. It all depends on what you want to do. The bigger you make it, the more drains you might want to have. Then you need a smeltery controller, which is just 8 seared bricks around the outside will give you the controller. This is what it's as it says right there, the brain of the smeltery. This is what controls your smeltery. That's where you put your items into it. Tanks used for the lava. You need a faucet, which is basically the bucket made with seared bricks. You need your casting table, which is this recipe here, and then you can make a casting bin. This is not something that you have to have, but when you start collecting a lot of ores, this will allow you to cast it into blocks instead of into ingots. So, what do we got here? This is the smallest size smeltery that you can build. This is the biggest size. Now this can go on up. I don't know exactly how high it can go up before it stops working. But this thing by itself has a ton of space. As I said, you can add as many drains as you want to it. You've also got seared glass. Seared glass is just a piece of glass surrounded by the seared brick. And all it does is makes it so you can see inside of it. It allows you, let's get our lava bucket here, go to our drain, and if you look in here you can actually see what's inside of it. It's a pretty neat little feature. What did I have in here? Just all that. I have this set here. It's just a drum full of lava so I can get lava as I need. So this is the standard size as far as what I use. It's just a 3x3 on the inside. I always put the controllers on the outside and the tank on the inside because you can pipe lava into this, you can pipe items into this, and it will work. This is running over here, just so you know. So these things are fully automatable. It's not really that hard to do. Not something that we're going to go into here. Basically, you need just redstone clock and some hoppers or some kind of item pipes, fluid pipes. One of the other items that is added by this mod is this clear glass. It is made by putting sand inside of the smeltery. Yes, sir?
I'm just watching.
So this will smelt down into liquid glass, and it actually makes a pretty nice glass. If I could spell the glass. And if I could find the glass. Nope.
You should have typed in liquid glass.
There it is. So it gives you a borderless glass that's absolutely clear. It's pretty nice. I like this glass. I use it to a certain extent. So now that you've got your smeltery set up, you can start to cast out ingots. You need to make an ingot cast. Ingot cast is made by just, this rain is killing me. like making your tool pieces, you just place an ingot in here and cast it out. You'll lose that ingot, but in the long run, it is worth it. Get off that ring. So, at this point, you should now be able to get your ores smelted, make the beginnings of your tools. As far as, we'll get to the tool stuff in a minute. One of the newer blocks added to Tinkers, it was added in, I think, 1.8, 1.9, 1.10, something like that, is this large furnace. This is a furnace that runs completely off lava. You can put lots of stuff in here. It will smelt everything down. I don't know how fast it works or anything like that. It is made with the same blocks as the smeltery. I just killed it. I killed it. Anyways, you've got the seared tank, you've got your bricks, but you have this furnace controller. This furnace controller is made with the furnace surrounded by the seared bricks. That's going to take a minute to smelt because we put a lot of stuff in there, so we are going to let that go. Now, as you can see, we have seared glass over here. This is a tinker tank. What this does is set time to that. No, this allows you to take any of your tinker's fluids that you smelt in the smeltery and put them in here, and they will not combine. So if you put silver and gold in here, it will not make electrum or any of the other ores that you can combine to make something different. It will keep them separate, and you pipe it into the drain, and you can just pipe it right out of the drain. That's the only thing this thing does. It is basically a separate compartment to store liquids, and it can be made smaller than this, it can be bigger than this. It just has to be hollow on the outside and be completely surrounded. It also needs this tinker tank controller, which is a bucket surrounded by bricks. This one, I ain't worried about it. We talked about this thing. This is a one-to-one smelt. You don't get double your ores on this. Let's see if this will take and smelt all of this stuff at once. It's almost done. It does smelt it all at once. Alright, so, but in order to make this is actually hollow on the inside and has a full top, full bottom. And as far as automating this, I'm sure there's a way to do it. I have not done it. You could probably pipe items into the furnace or into the controller. As far as piping them out, I'm not sure. I don't know if our book says anything about it or not. Let's look and see. Seared furnace. No, I don't see anything on it. I'm sure there's a way to pipe items into it, pipe items out of it. So, that's all of our different ore getting, our ore doubling, or smelting stuff that we can do. Now, to get into some of the tools and stuff like that. Oh, before we do that, there are several items that are several ingots that are added to Tinker's construct. Not added to, but that is part of Tinker's construct. It adds cobalt, which is found in the nether. It adds ardite, which is found in the nether. And it adds manulin, which is cobalt and ardite smelted together in a smeltery. They will combine and make manulin. They will not make manulin in here. I just have this here for educational purposes. It also adds pig iron. Pig iron is an emerald iron and some kind of blood inside of the smeltery. Night slime is a slime ball, cobblestone, and iron inside the smeltery. And it does have to be purple slime in order for this to work. It cannot be any other slime color. There are mud bricks, which is just dirt run through the smeltery. And there are dried bricks, which actually give you different uses. You can make slabs, you can make stairs. I'm not sure if you can do that with these or not. Doesn't matter, we took it off and it's gone. Oh, you can. Let's see here. Recipe, yeah, 4 mud bricks gives you 4 mud bricks give you mud bricks. That's not even the right. This is what I want. Aha. So those are, yeah, okay. It's the same thing, it's just different mud. But you can make slabs, you can make the bricks, and you can make the stairs. The rest of these items are used for making tools. Now, as far as making tools go, we'll get to that in just a moment. Alright, so we are going to get into tools and weapons. As I said, each part is made either in here or inside of the smeltery. Now, as far as what you can use in order to make your different parts, there are a lot of different options that you can choose from. Best way to do this is just to look at the book. Tool materials. These are your basics for Tinker's Construct. And if we go through here and look, you can see it gives you a attack damage, a mining speed, and a durability. As far as durability goes, the lower the number, the worse durability it has. It'll also tell you what you can mine with it. As you can see, this has a mining level of stone, mining level of iron, and it'll tell you how fast it will mine. The higher the number, the faster the speed. Same goes with attack damage. The days of the super OP Tinker's tools from 1.7 are pretty much gone. Everything is kind of more balanced than what it was before. But each part has its own kind of modifier that's not included with the rest of the modifiers. Make a part out of the wood, it will give you what is called ecological. Alright, it never fails. As soon as you go to sit down to do something, the phone rings. Let's go ahead and set our time today. Anyways, if we look here, I don't remember where I left off. Anyways, if you use wood on anything, it will allow it to regenerate. It is not a very fast regeneration, but it will slowly regenerate over time. Any parts made out of stone, this is the worst thing you could do. Especially the worst thing you could do is make something completely out of stone. You get absolutely no durability, but the thing is every time that you repair it, it does increase just a little bit. Like this broadsword has 17 durability. You repair it 2 or 3 times, it might go to 18 durability. So solid stone tools are not very good. Flint is actually a decent item to use as far as starting out with. It's got a decent mining speed. It does have a mining level of iron. It doesn't have a whole lot of durability. And it's not too bad as far as making tools out of. You've got cactus that has prickly. It more or less just adds the thorns enchantment to it. Bone deals extra damage to enemies. Obsidian, this is kind of where you need to look to start or to get to. You need to get to in order to mine for cobalt, you need obsidian level tool. It has a decent mining speed. It has a low durability. The attack damage is not too bad, but these tools last longer the more you use it. It has like its own. I hit the wrong thing. It has a durability built into it. So for every 10 blocks that you break, it may only register as breaking 8 blocks, something like that. In order to get these tools, you've actually got to smelt the obsidian inside of the smeltery. And there is a neat little trick that you can do with this as far as getting obsidian, if it works. Oop. You can come over here. Of course, we've already got a bucket of lava in there. We can put a bucket of water in there. Wait, it used to be. Oh, I'm going to put it in there. And now, if we look in here, we've got molten obsidian. Now, you cannot cast this out in ingot form, I do not believe, at least in this package. But if we get our casting basin out here, it'll give us a block. So it's a neat little way of being able to get obsidian without actually having to go and mine obsidian. And you could set one of these up as a obsidian generator and pipe water in one side, lava in the other side, or put 2 different drains on it and pop lava in one, and water in the other, and get obsidian. So once you get to this, you can get into the nether, mine cobalt, mine the ardite, which we'll get into in just a minute. Using prismarine on anything allows it to the fact that you can use it underwater and it doesn't slow a tool down, and it won't slow your arrows down. Anything made with endstone that has interference, and it will this I'm not sure what it is, alien. It will allow you to keep Endermen from teleporting. This I did not know. This makes it to where on the prismarine, every durability lost increases its damage. That's not actually too bad. Paper, the only thing paper is really good for is making a tool that you can add a bunch of modifiers to. If you make a tool completely out of paper, you can get 5 modifiers. So it's pretty good. Sponge is pretty neat. Sponge actually gives you quite a bit of durability. The only problem is you get no attack damage out of it. Mining speed's not very good. And you can only use a stone, but it does give you a silk touch. So if you can get to a sponge, you can make a decent little tool with. And then of course we've already went over the firewood. It adds auto smelt. Now, as far as ingot wise goes, we've got iron. Iron gives you magnetic. Magnetic makes it to where anything that you break will be sucked into your inventory. Neat little feature. It has a mining level of diamond. Durability is not very good. Mining speed is decent, and it does have the same attack damage as what vanilla iron does. Pig iron, every time you hit something, it will give you a chance of giving you bacon. It does have a mining level of obsidian, which makes it the same as what diamond is. Mining speed is fairly decent. Attack is not very good. Durability leaves a lot to be desired. Night slime is actually a fairly decent tool. Night slime, you can use obsidian. Has a decent mining speed, a decent attack speed. but anything, okay, how to explain this? This has a mining level of obsidian. Anything that's a mining level below obsidian, this tool will mine it faster. And the lower underneath the obsidian that it is, so this has obsidian, if you were mining, say, stone with it, it's going to mine it at a faster speed. So that's pretty neat. We've got slime. The only thing, this has good durability, a decent mining speed. Biggest thing with it is it will actually, the more you use it, the more it will spawn slimes in. Ask Bucko about this. He has slimes all over him. That's what his hammer is made out of. Blue slime, the exact same thing. The only difference is traits are a little bit different. It's got a little bit less durability, a little bit lower mining speed. Magma slime has good attack damage, and it adds the fact that you can set people on fire. Not people, but mobs on fire. Netherrack, basically all it does is works better in the nether, and you get bonus damage to non-nether mobs. So it's really about all that's good for. It doesn't have very much durability, it doesn't have very much attack damage, it doesn't have a very good mining speed. Cobalt, Ardite, these things are probably the best ones in as far as what tinkers goes. Cobalt gives you decent durability, it gives you a very high mining speed, and it does give you decent attack. It gives you momentum. Momentum is the more you mine in a row, the faster it'll go. And then it gives you lightweight, which is more or less its own version of haste. Ardite is stone bound. Or not Ardite. Ardite is better for durability, but does not have a very good attack speed and a very good mining speed. That was backwards. It is very good for mining stone, but outside of that, it does have a mining level of cobalt. But the one thing it does have is it will mine faster. The lower the durability is on it. Which brings us to Manuelin. Manuelin, of course, gets you a little bit of both. Alright, once again, we are back. I tell you what, no wonder my cat goes nuts all the time, as much as the phone rings in the mornings. So, we were at Manuelin. Manuelin has decent durability. For combat, it will deal more and more damage the more you hit something, but it uses more durability. And your first hit that you hit on anything, or anything that's got full health, it will deal extra damage to it. This is a pretty good tool to, pretty good thing to make your tools out of. Copper is decent because it gives you extra XP as you mine, regardless of what you mine. You get XP for mining stone, you get XP for mining anything. Bronze lasts longer the lower the durability gets. Lead adds poison. Silver adds a holy thing, which it just more or less for mobs it will give extra damage. Electrum has shocking, and this adds, if you get the shocking charge on your tool, it will add a bonus damage to it. And steel, I don't even know if steel is part of Tinker's construct, but if you hit a mob, it gives a bleeding effect, and blocking reduces the damage. So, now as far as making tools, it is more or less up to you how you want to make your tools. added durability, added mining speed. It's kind of more or less designed more around how you want to mine, how you want your tools to be. Your pickaxe. Let's go in here to Tinker's. We're going to grab just some random tools here. A lead shovel, a hatchet, mattock, a hammer, excavator, lumber axe. We'll grab a scythe and a pickaxe. So shovel works just as you expect. Wait, we need to change this to that. Just as a shovel. Let's go ahead and get down here to pickaxe is a 1x1. Your hammer does a 3x3. This can be changed with adding modifiers. We'll get into that in just a minute. So, we can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. A hatchet is basically just an axe. It will mine, or not mine, but break one block at a time. And if we use the lumber axe, it will break most of the tree. It don't necessarily break all of it, but it'll break most of the tree. Smaller trees, it will break all of it. Scythe is used to break grass. And to break leaves. That actually broke it. It's a stone one. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. Alright, the mattock. The mattocks you can use as a hoe. You can use as a shovel. And you can also use this as the hatchet. It's a pretty handy tool to have around. More or less get 3 tools in one. It's pretty neat. Your excavator does a 3x3. Works just like the hammer does. So that is more or less your basic tools. Like I said, as far as what you want to make out of and what you it's more or less your preference. As far as tools or swords goes, we've got cleaver, we've got the rapier, we've got a long sword, and we've got the broadsword. The cleaver gives you, it doesn't show it anymore, but it gives you a sort of mining fatigue. It's very slow to attack. You can add redstone on it to make it a little faster, but it does have very high attack damage regardless of really what you use. That's not a very good example. You can see we got 11 attack damage out of this. This will more or less 2-hit kill most mobs. Let's see here. Manualin 18. I think Manualin might be the best as far as damage goes. As far as what's added by it is. As far as what's added by Tinker's Construct. Rapiers are a quick to you can attack quicker with it, and it also has a jump back. If you right click with it in your hand, it gives you a jump back. The broadsword is basically just your standard sword. That's all it is. Longsword actually gives you a lunge, which I don't have any mobs. See if we can do it with this. No, I don't have any mobs. It gives you a lunge attack that you can use. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, most of that is as far as building the tools and what you build it out of, it's more or less just your preference. Fry pans are just a neat little thing that you can use as a melee weapon. It has built-in knockback. The battle signs can be used as a shield or a weapon. And then that's pretty much how those work. Not something that I use a whole lot. Now, as far as additional modifiers that you can make to it, if you look at this, you can see it says modifiers 3. Most tools, when you create them, will have just 3 modifiers. That's it. You can add paper parts to it that will give you additional modifiers. If you have extra utilities, you can use magical wood that will give you extra modifiers, stuff like that. So as far as modifiers go, your main modifiers, redstone adds haste, lapis adds fortune, or it will add looting. And the more redstone you add to it, the more lapis you add to it, the better the haste, the better the fortune and looting will be. Now, as far as other modifiers you can add to it, some of them are, you can add these silky jewels. These are made with silky cloth and an emerald string. The silky cloth is made with string and a diamond. This gives you silk touch. We've got this here. These are, what is this? Reinforcements. Blank cast is made in your casting table with just gold. No, nothing put in it. You just cast the gold out into the table like this. It will give you a blank cast. Surrounded by obsidian, it will give you your reinforcement. If you put 5 of these on a tool, it makes the tool unbreakable. But the more you add to it, the more the durability is. So that's pretty neat. You've also got these. These two are more or less together. It's an expander, and they're both expanders. One's horizontal, one's vertical. Basically, it makes it, I don't know if you can use this with a pickaxe or not. Let's find out. Let's make a pickaxe. Let's go over here. It might be just with the hammer. Oh, it does. So if we go down here, you can see it now does 2 instead of just doing 1. So that's pretty neat. And you can add a few of them to it, I do believe. Do I have any more? I do not. Let's add, I don't need that many because I don't have that many modifiers on my tool here. Let's do a vertical one. And let's add another width one. And, oh, it can only be applied once. And that one can only be applied once. Okay, yeah, you can only add it once. But now we can take this tool down here, and it should mine, yeah, it mines a 2x2 now instead of mining a 1x1. Now, we can go into our book. Oh, we got one more over here. Mending moss. Mending moss works different than the moss ball did in 1.7. Mending moss is made with any mossy stone brick, gives you a ball of moss. And you take it and you right click on that. I don't have enough levels. Let's get us some levels. Get some of these. It's enough levels. Take the ball of moss, right click on a bookshelf, and you've now got mending moss. It does not work the way it did in 1.7. Mending moss works like mending does. It uses XP in order to repair your tool. So standing in front of a mob farm with it in your hand will cause it to heal itself. I have a fishing pole in Radiocraft that has mending, has mending on it, and it never uses any durability, which is kind of what this does. You could put this with a copper tool, and you could more or less make almost an unbreakable tool with it, the way it is. Now, they have made it in this pack or not this pack, but in Tinkers now, to where you can easily change parts out. If we want to change this to a paper head, we can. It takes on the traits of whatever the part is that you do it. So if you look at it now, that's not what I want. It's got 685 durability with a mining level of cobalt and a mining speed of 7. We add this paper to it, it takes on the traits of paper. It does give us 2 extra modifiers. So that's something to consider too. You can make, how I do my hammer is I will make a paper entirely out of hammer, or make a hammer out of entirely out of paper, and then I'll change the head on it, and I'll change the heads on it to where I've got an entirely different tool with that mining level and those stats, but I still get the 5 extra modifiers on it to make it unbreaking. So there's that. Now there are other modifiers that are in the book. Let's see here, modifiers. You can add you can add quartz to a sword, add sharpness, diamonds, increases what the tool can mine. It will change the mining level to at least obsidian. We've got emerald, which gives a little more durability. Fortified increases the mining level 1 level. Of course, we went over silk touch, reinforced. Beheading modifier you can add it to anything. But it gives you more of a chance for the heads to get a skull from something. So if you've got a cleaver and you add, it already comes with beheading too. You can add, I think it's beheading 8, 9, 10, something like that. That will allow it to make it to where it's 100% chance you get the head. But the more beheading and modifiers you add to it, the better the chance is in order to get the heads. Great for getting wither skulls. You can add consecrated soul for smite. I have no idea how to make consecrated soul. That's not what I wanted. Graveyard soul, which is bone meal, rotten flesh, and dirt in the smeltery. So there's that. Got Bane of Arthropods. We know what that is. Killing spiders. Adding blazed powder to it gives it flame or whatever it is for the sword. Necrotic makes it to where when you hit a mob, you will, and you've had damage, you will heal up. Pistons add knockback. This is a neat one. If you add a nether star to any item in Tinkers, it gives you soulbound, which means when you die, it will be in your inventory when you respawn. It does not take a modifier spot. You can add it to anything as long as you've got a nether star and a tool. We went over height, width, mending moss, blasting. This is something I have never used. Just because of the fact that it's when you mine with it, it'll blow up a bigger area, but you lose most of the blocks that you get. Glowing is something that I didn't even know it was in here. I hadn't paid attention to it till I was going through here. This will actually place a light source down as you're going, which I want to check that out. This has 1 modifier, so we can add this. So we need Eye of Ender. Let's get rid of some of this stuff out of our inventory. And glowstone. This is what happens when you sit down and actually read the book. So we needed 2 glowstone and a 5 ender. We now have the glowing. Let's go down here. Ah, it puts a glow ball down. That's actually pretty neat. I'll have to remember that. Because there's one thing I am terrible about doing is lighting up behind me, because I always carry torches in my offhand. So, what else we got here? Shulking will cause mobs, when you hit them, to go in the air. Web slows them down. Fins work like the Prismarine, where you can shoot arrows through the water and they don't slow down. Embossment makes it to where, like where we were trying to add, get rid of the rain, the paper part to our pickaxe, and it was changing everything over to the paper stuff. It will allow us to add this to this pickaxe without losing the manual traits. And this video is going to be a long one, and that's pretty much it. I can sit here and tell you what I think are the best tools, but that's what I feel is best for me. It's more or less deciding what you want and how you want to mine. Now, as far as the mod goes, there are a few other things that you can make in this mod. You can make stone rods, which will allow you to make stone ladders, and you can also make torches with them. These are the torches that I use all the time, because why use wood when you have to go out and get it when you've always got a ton of cobblestone around? We've got this piggyback backpack. This thing's pretty neat. We're going to kill this guy, but you right click on it and we can carry him around. And I don't know how to get him off of my head. If I just sit here and smack him enough, he'll go away. Actually, I think if I just take it off, he'll go away. So there's that. And our last 2 items. We've got the glow balls, which are actually made with snowballs and glowstone. We just seen those. It's perfect that it's nighttime here. You can throw these and they'll light up an area for you, and it's pretty neat. It's a good way of lighting up an area without actually having to place torches down. And our last item are these things right here, EFLNs. Do not use these around your base. These things, when you throw them, they blow up. It's handy for mining, as for the most part it will not blow up it will not blow up any of the items. And it is a pretty good way to mine. We can mine down to bedrock here pretty quick. I run out. Oh, we're already down. Oh, I forgot. I was not in creative mode. Now we're in creative mode. But anyways, that's fine. What a perfect way to end the video here. I think I got everything. Let's look at our thing. We went over the slime stuffs. We went over the tool tables, the smeltery, the added ingots, all the pieces and parts and modifiers, changing parts, and the extra neat stuff. I think that's it. I have no idea how long this video is going to be. So, with that, hopefully this helps anybody with the mods. Any mods that you want to see, let me know. We'll see what we can do. If you don't have any suggestions, I will just pick another mod, set up another area, and we'll do it. So, with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.